Hello, so today I'm going to show you how I did this monkey foot. Alright, so if you follow the pattern, rounds 1, 2, and 3 are just pretty straightforward, and round 4 is where it starts getting a little more complicated, so I just wanted to show you what I did. Alright, so starting in round 4, 5, and 6, they're dependent on which foot you're doing. So I'm going to show you the right leg, and then you can take that knowledge and it should be pretty easy to follow the instructions for the left leg. So for the right leg, round 4, we're going to start out with 6 single crochet. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we're not going to skip any stitches in this base layer. We're just going to keep going. And we have 6 more to finish the round. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so then you should have 12 stitches plus those 3 chains. And I'm going to move my stitch marker. Okay, and then for the next round, we're going to do 6 single crochets. Okay, and then we're just going to go into that top loop of each of the chains, and we're going to do a single crochet in each chain. So that's the first chain, go into the top loop of the second chain, alright, and the top loop of the last chain. And then you can just finish that round like normal. Alright, and now you'll have 15 stitches in that last chain, in that last round. Move my stitch marker. Okay, and now we're going to start the 6th round in our right leg with 6 single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet 3, those 3 that we had in the chains together. So we'll stick our hook through the first stitch, pull a loop through, stick our hoop through the second stitch, pull a loop through, and stick a loop through the third stitch, pull a loop through, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops on the hook. Okay, and then we'll finish the round just like normal with 6 single crochets, and then we'll be down to 13 stitches for that round. Okay, and then we'll move our stitch marker. Okay, and that that's it for the differences between the two foots. Sorry, between the 2 feet. So then we'll continue on and it'll be the same pattern for both legs, whether or not it's the right or the left, it's just going to be the same. So starting in round 7, we're going to crochet the heel. All right, so we're going to do 6 single crochets. Okay, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn our work and go back and do 6 single crochets back on those same 6 stitches that we just did. Okay, that was number 6. And then we'll chain 1 and turn and go back on those same 6 stitches. Okay, and then now what we're going to do, so you can see there's the foot and then there's this little flap that goes above, just kind of keeps going. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find a stitch in that flap and we're going to do half of our decrease into there. So pull a loop through and then you're going to go into the next stitch of that round, which is round 7, and pull a loop through. Okay, and then yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So that's how we do the decrease into the side of the heel and into the next stitch. All right, and then we're gonna go 1 single crochet, 2 decreases. There's our first decrease, our second decrease. Okay, and then we're gonna do that kind of same thing, doing a decrease into the last stitch of the round and into that little step up where we went up into the heel. So we're gonna go like halfway up between those 2 extra rounds of the heel, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then that is going to count as the last stitch for the round. So I'm going to move my stitch marker into that last decrease that we did in the last stitch of the round and plus up into that little step to the heel. All right, and then that's the end of round 7. So we'll stuff the foot a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna lightly stuff that foot. And then we'll just keep stuffing as we go. We don't want to get too much in the ankle area between the foot and the leg, kind of right parallel with this heel, or right where this heel is, or else the stuffing will make it stay flat, like straight out like that. We don't want too much stuffing in there because we want it to be able to bend so that it still looks like a foot. Okay, so in the next round, we're gonna change to brown. So my color changing, what I like to do is just go through, normally it'll just be 2 loops for a regular single crochet, but then because this was a decrease and not an invisible decrease, we're gonna go through those 3 loops of that decrease. Add add our brown yarn, pull it through, and then round 8 to 17 or 8 to 20, depending on how long your legs are going to be, we're just going to go around and around. It'll be 11 stitches in single crochet. So 1, 2, and then once you've gotten a couple of stitches, we can just pull that loop through from where we changed colors. And because we're done with the tan, we can just cut that tan yarn. I like to tie a little knot here just to make sure it's not going anywhere, and shove these tails into the foot. Okay, and then we'll just keep going. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stitches, and I am going to finish this leg, and I'll come back when I've finished round 17. Okay, so I'm back and I've finished up to round 17. Come on, focus, there we go. And so what we're gonna do is we need to make sure we know where the hole is for that big toe. So this is my chain 3 gap right there, and so that's gonna be on this side. Okay, and then we've ended kind of in the middle here, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it perpendicular. Okay, so that this side is going to be going this way, and our foot, our toe, is pointing that way. Okay, so if you need to, depending on your tension, if you need to add a stitch or take out a couple of stitches, do that. It looks like I'm good here where I am. So, alright, I need to stuff a little bit more. Okay, so we'll stuff that leg, making sure not to stuff too much into that ankle area so that it stays bendable. Get to stuff lightly, it doesn't have to be super full. I'm gonna fold this in half and go through both layers and do 5 single crochet through both of those layers to close my leg. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there we go. Now we have our leg, and then when we sew it onto the monkey, we'll just sew it so that the flat part is right up against his body, and then we'll have his foot facing out like that. Alright, so now you can cut your yarn, leaving a tail long enough for sewing it onto the body. Okay, and pull your thread through. And then what we're going to do to finish up this foot, sorry it keeps going in and out of focus, is we're going to go back to, we're going to count to round 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to find that chain 3 hole right there. So there should be a little bit of a hole in there. And we're going to stick our crochet hook through that stitch right on the edge of the hole, and add our tan yarn, attach our tan yarn. Okay, so bring a loop through, and then just kind of chain 1 to keep it secure. and then we're gonna make 5 stitches around that hole. So you can just kind of find 5 stitches anywhere if you can. Probably 2 below the chain 3 hole, and then 3 if you could find each of those chains again. So there's 1 stitch, we'll go right next to it for stitch number 2. Okay, and then into here, that'll be number 3. Okay, that was one of my chains. Number 4. Oops, come on. And finally, number 5. Okay, so that's the first round of our toe. Alright, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna do, oh sorry, I don't know why it's not focusing today. We're gonna go and do one more round in each of those 5 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just gonna do one more round in each stitch. There's 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now we're done, so we're going to leave a bit of a yarn tail so that we can close that hole. Okay, grab a yarn needle. Okay, and we're going to go around through each of the front loops of those stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go through that front loop. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then just pull it tight to close that hole. Alright, and then you can bring that yarn tail through into like the back of the foot, and then you can grab this yarn tail Alright, go into the closest hole that it came out of, bring it in through that same hole, can tie it off. Alright, we can cut off some of that extra end, and then just, you can use your yarn needle I guess, or I just like to shove it back in there with my scissors, stick it through that hole. Alright, there we go. So now we have our right hand, or right foot for our monkey. And so when we go and put this on, this makes sure that the toe is pointing in. And if you look at your own feet, you can see which side your big toe is on. So this is just the big toe of that monkey. Alright, and then we'll go up a few rounds from the bottom of that banana, and we'll just sew it right on. Alright, so I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoy your monkey.